Take a look at this article titled "Can Schooling Help Make You a Millionaire?" And as you can see, with every progressing degree, your odds of becoming a millionaire continues to increase. But wait, because this article shows a lot more than just the correlation between one's degree and their financial well-being. It shows just how deeply race is connected into this whole situation. Regardless of the degree, there's a pattern in which Asians and white Americans have the highest chances of becoming millionaires. Now, when I first thought about this, I thought the answer was rather obvious. Asian Americans just put a higher emphasis on learning and education, but then I realized everyone here we're looking at all have master's degrees. And as the author points out, by the time someone has a master's degree, chances of becoming a millionaire should be similar across all races. However, a black person with a master's degree actually has the same odds of becoming a millionaire as an Asian American that only graduated high school. So why is this? Now, if we take a look at what the author of this article has to say, they basically blame it on systematic racism, pointing out that people tend to take care of their own. You can read their entire explanation right here, but the basis of their argument is basically that if you don't fit into the majority, it may be harder to get in. But then this doesn't explain the whole Asian statistic, because Asian Americans actually have the highest chance of becoming a millionaire in the US, despite being the most minority group, at least out of like the 4 groups we're looking at here. It's quite clear to me, at least, that culture has a lot to do here. Now, this is a conversation most people just ignore. It's kind of like the whole sexism thing. As you may know, men have a much higher chance of becoming wealthy when compared to women. Is this just because America is so sexist? Well, that's what the mainstream media would want you to believe, but everyone with a functioning brain understands it has more to do with the differences in career choice and a multitude of other little factors that really add up. The same goes for our current conversation in a much more complex way, so really follow with me here because it's important. Take a look at this chart here. This is from the US Census Bureau, okay, which is very reliable, and it says Asian American families are particularly stable, divorcing at about half the rate of other Americans. Now, I don't think I need to explain that divorce is a huge wealth destroyer. So is that it? Black and Latino Americans get more divorces than Asians, therefore they are less financially successful? Of course not. I'm just citing one thing that you may not have thought of. This is an extremely complicated and multi-layered conversation. Now keep in mind, I'm not saying any one culture is better than the other. All cultures have their strengths and weaknesses, and it's quite clear Asian culture is just more geared towards financial success. On a person-to-person basis though, this really doesn't mean anything. That was my disclaimer, by the way. Continuing on, some of you are probably thinking white people are at 40% in this divorce chart, but they also have a much higher chance of becoming millionaires. This is due to the fact that they have other things going for them in the US, such as having family closer, since most minority groups have family overseas. Once again, that's only one reason. The author from earlier pointed out some other reasons, but you really need to look at this whole conversation almost like a 50-piece puzzle. Let me know whether you agree with this or not, and if you enjoyed, do be sure to subscribe and like. I could make a part 2 on this since there's a lot more to talk about.